Hey everybody, happy Friday. I hope everyone's doing amazing. My name is Shantanique Langston, better known as Neek Speaks. I am your personal and professional relationship coach. I'm also the creator of the Relationship Conference, where we promote wholeness in the areas of singleness, marriage, and family dynamics. And so you're tuning in to our new episode of Candid Conversations. We're doing a preview of our conference that's coming up in March. The theme is breaking generational trauma, overcoming generational trauma. And tonight we're talking about men with mommy issues. If you know someone who's dealing with this, I know some women, uh, call all your girlfriends, okay? Because this is a conversation you do not want to miss. Share this live with anyone you know, and men need to tap in too, because we want to help you tonight. And I don't believe in pointing fingers, but I do believe that it's time for us to start walking into our healing and getting solutions to problems that we do not have to deal with as we age over time. And so, also, the whole purpose of our conference is to help millennials understand that, or any generation understand that you do not have to live with that trauma, that you can get the help that you need so that the generation behind us don't have to repeat the same cycles that we've gone through. So that's our whole purpose of this conference that's coming up. And so, without further ado, I want to turn Leon loose. He is not a stranger to the podcast, not a stranger to the conference. He's been with us for a few years, and I appreciate him. So, Leon, go ahead, tell people who you are. Take it away.
All right, thanks, Nick. Good evening, everyone. I'm Leon Walker. I served 32 years in the Navy. I have 3 kids. I have 4 god kids and 1 granddaughter. Been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. I have severe PTSD, anxiety, and depression. So I have a lot. You will notice that a lot of narcissistic people or narcissists they do have PTSD as well. I started this journey in 2021 because my ex-girlfriend said, hey, you need to start talking about it. And so here we are. I'm an author of 4 books. I'm divorced, been divorced almost 17 years. I like good food and I like comedy. And now I like helping people, outside the military.
Thank you for all those words. I still hear some echoing. You have your other thing on?
It's nothing. It's on
No?
No, my phone is off. I turned it off.
Okay. Oh, I don't hear it anymore. Okay, that's good. Okay. All right. So thank you for sharing that with us. So before we get started, I do want to ask you this question, and I asked this question with Lucia and Andre last week. What do you believe is your superpower?
My superpower is understanding people's personalities. I had that for a very long time, and I know exactly where I get it from. I get it from my mother. And I learned a lot about my mother's personality in therapy. So my superpower is, and I had to learn people's personality through being a leader. So I had to understand what people like, what they don't like, what makes them move, why they act the way they act. So my superpower is understanding people's personalities, the person. And so that helped me out. It helped me out as a narcissist in a bad way, being manipulative. It did. And I don't want that anymore. I don't. And so it got me in trouble. It got pretty dangerous. I almost got killed twice. So yeah. But yeah, that's my superpower.
Wow. That's amazing. I think it's very important. I say this all the time, and I don't care who gets offended. If you are a leader, some people who are in leadership position shouldn't be in leadership position. And you have people out here who should be in leadership position and they're not. Because there are people who are in leadership who don't understand what it means to serve.
Right.
They're worshiping a title and not understanding that you are put in position to serve the people under you. They're looking to you for answers, not to be, so that's a whole nother conversation. But it's important that we are aware of how we're treating each other personally and professionally. So I don't want to go into that. You gotta come to the conference to get more insight when it comes to things like that. But we're gonna go right into this conversation. So let the people know who you are as far as like you're now helping people or women. I know your target market or who's gravitating to you are women because of the narcissistic behaviors that you talk about in your videos on TikTok and on
Mhm.
Instagram and on YouTube. So you are gravitated to a lot of women who are in that pain. And so I want you to speak to that. And also, you are an author as well.
Yeah.
So I
Hmm.
want can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So what happened was, ironically, the same people that I was hurting are the same ones that have me talking about our personality disorder, women. And
Yeah.
so I don't target women. I don't pander to women. I tell the truth about me, and that's what women want to hear: the truth about their husbands, boyfriends, sons. And so it just turned out that way. Since June 2021, I've been doing these videos, and I've amassed about almost 500,000. I call people listeners, not followers. And in that 500,000 and 31 months I've been doing this, I've had 9 men reach out to me. That's it. Nine. That's it. 9 men. And out of those nine, um, 8 of them were under the age of 40. And out of those nine, only 3 are consistently talking to me today. The older guy, he's like 56, hit and miss. The other guy was 40 something. He's a diagnosed narcissist. He doesn't call me anymore. The 3 gentlemen that talk to me now are under the age of 40, all 3 of them. And they consistent with trying to find out how they can get better. So, ladies, if you're looking for a man that's willing to get help, that could go to therapy, that understands his issues and wants to know, men under 40 are really trying to get that done. Men, it's just sad that men 50 and up ain't doing it. I started therapy at 47 for a year, and I wasn't even ready to go into therapy, but we'll talk about that. And so, yes, and I am an author. My first book was called Broken. It's a memoir. My second book is called Love Ship. My third book is called The Seven Loveless Traits. It's about narcissism, and my fourth one is an autobiography that comes out in May. So yeah,
Okay.
I'll make sure you get a copy. So yeah, that was like, and I started talking to women because of a woman, because of 2 women, and here I am. But had those women said, had they not told me to talk about it, I would be a 58-year-old whorish man and still doing the same stuff I was doing at 20. Guaranteed. I know for a fact.
Mhm. I just one thing, and hearing your story over and over again is always something new that I'm learning, and it's refreshing. And so one thing I've shared before, I said, Lord, I want to meet someone who has the narcissistic personality. I said, I think that will really help a lot of people, who are drawn to come to the conference. I want to have different types of people and not just have married people, just have, but people who are really dealing with the issues, who are living in the pain or who have overcome. And look what happened. God sent Leon in
Hmm.
2020. So I just thank God that he answers prayer and he knows my heart and what I'm called to do. I want to do it his way. And so you came upon input into my life. And so I thank God for you and you being so transparent and authentic about your story. It speaks so much volume. And so I appreciate your vulnerability every single time. And so y'all need to make sure y'all get this because I started reading this when you sent it, I was like, let me dive into it a little bit with my crazy schedule. Y'all don't know I am a teacher by day. Y'all pray for us because it's been crazy this week.
Yeah.
But there are some things I want to share. First of all, this is like the next best thing to the Bible. Like the Bible is, of course, the best thing, but this is the next. Y'all need to get this because it's lengthy, but it has some major things you want to dive in when it comes to narcissism. This here, you want this book because there's something I want to share because you just mentioned something earlier about the men,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So you said, and this is the beginning part of the book, y'all, is so deep in the beginning. Um, Experts say that up to 5% of the population has NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. 5%. And that's an astonishing number alone, means that millions of people are and have suffered from people like myself. Talking about Leon. We
Hmm.
all have dealt with someone who has that personality disorder.
Right.
Every single one of us in
Yeah.
across the world. And
Hmm.
so for you to say that the older men are not dealing with it or healing from it, and it's because not so much about them being stuck in their ways, but it's because it requires work. It requires root work, and not everyone is looking to do that root work in order to heal. It takes time.
Yeah, and it also requires that you have to stop delving into your addiction. So it took me to say, you know what? All right, I'm not going to watch porn tomorrow, or I'm not going to cheat, or I'm not going to have sex with three different women. You got to stop. It's hard. That's why they say narcissistic people never change, or they don't want to. Yeah, I get it. I understand, but you can do some things a little bit of time to work on your personality disorder. You can on your work on your behavior. You can work on it. It's not easy for me. It's hard for me every single day because I get flirted with. I get phone calls. I get talk. I get everything. I get people. I make a little money here and there. I help people. That could pay into my ego. It could be stroking my ego. It could be, yeah. It's not easy.
No, no. Any type of discipline, and anytime you're trying to create a new discipline, it's going to require some focus, determination, and you're going to be distracted. Anytime you're making a positive change, distractions are going to come. That's just a part of that. So I want to just touch a little bit on the mommy issues. So we did talk about this topic, and I'm like, okay, we're going to dive into it a little bit tonight. So what are some of the issues that you have come up, I guess, against when women are talking to you or asking you questions about men, and how is it linked to issues that men have with their moms?
So here's two things, right? We don't. This is the first time ever. I did a video on this, but this is you're the first person I'm talking to this
Okay.
about this with. There are two things. First, say for instance you and I are dating, right? And I go, hey Nick, I got mommy issues. First thing you're gonna do, you're gonna go, oh, here he go with this, and Leon, I really don't want to hear it. Or right, or if I say, hey Nick, check it out, I just need to talk to you because I'm having issues with my mother. There's a difference.
Ooh.
There's a big difference, right? So if I say, hey Nick, I'm having issues with my mother, that tells you I want to help my mother. I want to help our relationship. My mother might be getting high. I want to get her in rehab, whatever. Or if
Mhm.
I say, what's up, girl? I got mommy issues. You like, oh, now it's like, oh, he's immature. He don't cuddle. He's a cheater. He's selfish. He's self-centered, right? And so
Mhm.
I went into therapy with mommy issues, and I came out thinking and knowing I had issues with my mother, which was the problem. I didn't have mommy issues. I had issues with my mother, and my mother was a crack addict. And I was upset with my mother because she left me and we moved and we lost our house and my parents got divorced and blah, 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 blah. My mother didn't come to my high school graduation and didn't come to my football game. So I had issues with my mother that I wanted to work out. When you have mommy issues, like a lot of times you don't want to work those issues out because it's too embarrassing to say, well, I don't know how to communicate. That's a mommy issue. My mother didn't talk to me. My mother slapped me, not my mother, but just generally speaking. My mother didn't show me how to love. My mother didn't show me how to hold hands. She just showed me, how to cook. She just bought money, blah, 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 blah. So there's a difference between having mommy issues and issues with my mother.
Ooh. That's yes. And then we can even go deeper because you can talk about the absent mom or the absent dad. Those who grew up or who didn't never had a father figure, or a mom figure in their life, where are they getting that support that they need? So,
Sometimes they get it from their partner.
yes.
The partner becomes the parent
Oh,
to a parent, to an adult. Yeah. And so you have like, so my therapist told me that I wanted women to rely on me, but when they started relying on me, I got super pissed. And I don't even know where she got that from, but she was right. Because I
mm,
wanted to be the man, I wanted to pay the bills, but then when I'm paying all the bills, I'm looking at my money, I'm like, you ain't doing nothing but sitting around the house waiting on me to come home and have sex. And then I get mad. Now the relationship starting to crash. But I wanted a woman to depend on me, but when she did, I didn't know what to do with it. And so, did I want her to depend on me, or did I want her to need me? Depend on me and need me. What was it? And so, I wanted her to need me, but I didn't want her to depend on me. But she wound up depending on me. And after a while, I kind of got like tired of that. So, it was misconstrued in my mind how I looked at the relationships as far as what am I supposed to be doing in a relationship. That stems from how I saw women from my childhood.
mm-hmm.
Sex objects, just toys. And so I just toyed with women for the rest of my life. My entire life, I toyed with all the women I met. My ex-wife, my ex-girlfriends. And so when a woman is an object in your life, she's not part of your image. So when she's not part of your image, you have a tendency to forget who she really is.
Ooh, listen, I hope y'all are hearing this tonight. You'll hear more of this during our conference that's coming up on March 23rd. All the information is on my website, and I do have the information linked below in this video. Our theme this year for our conference is Overcoming Generational Cycles or Trauma, I'm sorry. And we want you guys to be in the room virtually with us. That's right. The conference is going to be virtual again on Saturday, March 23rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. You do not want to miss it. Again, the information is in the description below. And we are running a special right now. So you can use the promo code SAVE75. Again, it is Save Space 75 if you are looking to come to the conference. Leon will be one of our speakers, and we're going to be talking about intentional dating or doing one of our segments with him during the conference. So you definitely want to continue to stay tuned for more tonight as we dive a little bit deeper when it comes to mommy issues. So I want to know, what is one word of advice that you would give women who is dealing with a man that may have mommy issues and she has not yet addressed it to him?
Yeah, first you want to ask him how his relationship is with his mother. And so no woman ever that I dated asked me, hey, well, they would say, well, Leon, you don't talk about your mother. And I got that all the time because I didn't talk about my mother because I was embarrassed. And so when they brought it up, I'd get mad, like super pissed. And they'd be like, oh, never mind. I wasn't violent towards women at all, but I was verbally abusive. And when I got upset, my temper was very bad. I would say some things that I don't remember saying. I would say some things that I would eventually regret, but at the time I didn't regret them. So I was always saying things to hurt a woman. But ask about his relationship with his mother, because my relationship with my mother was absent. After 11 years old, it was over with. I was on the streets alone, and with my dad, of course, but he was working third shift, so smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, having sex early on. I didn't care about love. I didn't care about relationships. And I knew that I had mommy issues, and I had an issue with my mother as I got older to try to rectify it. I spent 32 years in the Navy. My mother sent me one letter. Back then, they mailed, you get letters and stuff. From 1983 to 1996, before we got email, I think in the 90s. But yeah, I was always mad at my mother. And so women couldn't do anything with me when it came to my emotions. Oh, Leon, you don't express yourself. You don't say you love me. Do you care? You don't listen. You don't cry. When I cry, Leon, you don't say anything. The worst thing a woman could do around me was cry. I hated it. Nick, I'm telling you, I had some very, very hateful feelings, emotions, and traits because of mommy issues.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fell in love with my hate, and I started liking to hurt women because it felt good. So that's why I understand serial killers. I've never killed anybody, but I want to kill, not women, but I could feel myself wanting to be so angry that I could just like make you expire, And so I don't take the sides of serial killers, none at all. But I understand when you get so upset at something or someone, about your me being inept or not being able to be a good husband or boyfriend and being embarrassed about it, I would get upset when she would call me out, whoever she was at the time.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, this is so good. I hope y'all are listening to this. When it comes to your mommy issues, being able to identify if it's mommy issues or if you have an issue with your mom, if you have an issue with your dad, or an issue with your foster parent or your adopted mom or whoever it is, like you knowing the difference between the two. And I know we have quite a few viewers on tonight. If you have questions, make sure you go ahead and light up the chat. Do not be afraid. This is a judgment free zone. If you have questions, I know the scripture says you have not because you ask not. So you have to ask questions in order to get clarity about how you're going to heal in your healing process. So this is important. Like this conversation, we're not just talking to be talking, but we're here to really give you guys some solutions. So identifying the issue with your parent, and then understanding how to reconcile, understand how you can communicate better. Because Leon, you just gave us a few examples of how we should be communicating, how a man should be communicating with a woman he's interested in. And one thing I have learned from one of my former colleagues when it comes to dating, women are so quick to just be marry a man, but you got to remember you're marrying a family. So you got to see how that man is treating his family members. Same thing for men. Men, be more strategic, be more intentional about the women you're dating. Find out or observe how she treats her friends, how she treats her children, how she treats her family as well. Because you want to make sure you're dating somebody who has great character, who has great character. They're not faking in front of you, but they're being their authentic self, and they are at peace in their life and they're healing. Because some people, they say they're healing, but they're really not. They still have anger issues. And I don't want to go into that too deep. You got to come to the conference that's coming up in March. So I want to ask you something. I want to talk about empaths because you speak on that a lot. And in your book, y'all need to get this book. So he said this: your gift for empaths, your gift of giving has to be reserved for someone that is in a receiving mindset. I hope y'all heard that. Your gift of giving has to be reserved for someone that is in a receiving mindset. Because I'm an empath, and I know as an empath, I'm a giver. And sometimes we often neglect ourselves, okay, because we're so busy giving, 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 and running, 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 doing everything for everybody, that we look up and no one's able to pour into our cup. Because you said this too in your book. You said empaths can take care of many people, but many people can't take care of one empath.
Yeah, I found that quote somewhere, but what's crazy about what since you mentioned the book, Nancy designed that book cover.
She did a good job.
Yeah,
You want to see it again? This she the bomb. She did that. Okay.
that.
Y'all see it? Yeah. This is
And the reason why I wrote that book is because she sent me the 5 love languages years ago, and I
really.
never read it until 2000 and I don't know 20. When did the book come out? What's this? 24. The book came out 20. The book came out 22, I think. But anyway, 23. But yeah, 23. Yeah, so yeah, I read the 5 love languages, and then that inspired me to write the 7 loveless traits. I don't want to call it the 7 loveless languages because I don't want it to be anything remotely close to Dr. Chapman. I think it's a doctor, Mr. Chapman,
Yes.
his book. Yeah. So
Yes.
yes, she inspired me. She to write that book about the loveless traits, loveless languages.
Yes, and I want to just say something to all the empaths out there who may be watching this. It's important that your cup is always full, and I say that all the time. People should only get your overflow. People should only get your overflow because it you want to make sure you're able to give to people, but don't give them everything, and be discerning on how you pour into people is another thing. I know in my healing journey, I had to slow down, and it caused me to embrace gratitude when people actually pour into me. And I'm not. bragging or anything, but I had no idea you were going to write this amazing note to me in the book when you autographed it. I'm not going to share what you said, but I appreciate this. My first love language is words of affirmation, y'all. Okay, those who do not know me, but words of affirmation is my thing. Um, and to allow people to just pour into you is important, empaths, because we're so busy pouring into other people. We got to take a step back and say, who's actually pouring into me?
Right.
You got to look at that like, okay, the people that I'm pouring into, do they have capacity? No. And that's something that's important even when it comes to dating somebody and dealing with men, dealing with women who are narcissistic. You got to be careful because they don't have that.
Oh no, I know probably I know 5 of them, and I know one that was diagnosed. And oh no, you ain't. I looked at her. I said, this is what it's like dating me. She's like, yep, this is what it's like, Leon, with a smile on her face. So narcissistic men and women dating, they just cancel each other out. I would not date a Leon. I would not. And I like experienced me with another woman. I'm like, Jesus, how did you even deal with me? I asked, like, my ex-wife, I was married to her for 12 years, and it was probably every day. I know for a fact every week, every month, every year, I did something stupid, but maybe close to every day. 12 years. My ex-wife was a strong lady. And some of the ladies that I dated for 6 years and some that I've been known for 30, 35 years that dealt with me. I'm like, how do y'all do it? I would have probably shot me if I were her, you know? Like,
Oh, wow.
yeah. I'm telling you, narcissistic people do things that will unearth some things in you and make you hurt that person. I know because I'm narcissistic and I did a lot of things that now that I look back. So making these videos, I have to see myself. Once I post a video, I don't watch it anymore. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I have to. It takes me seconds to put a video together. I got probably 100 videos right here that I've never even posted because I get things via God through God as osmosis, whatever, at night, and I'll get up and make the video, and just put it as a draft. So there's so much to narcissistic people that people don't know or understand, and this is why I'm telling people what's going on. I'm not holding back anything, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's layers to this. It's layers to this, and that's the same thing when it comes to trauma. There's layers in trauma that you have to be willing to understand your triggers. And you mentioned a few things in the table of contents, y'all. The table of contents alone is powerful. Now, what I was reading to y'all was just the beginning, wasn't even chapter one. It was before the table of contents.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what he said, chapter 13, you said looking for our mothers in the women that we date. Y'all stop doing that. Please stop looking for your mom in the women that you are dating because the women you're dating, they're not designed to be your mom.
But they try to be. Not in a. I don't mean that in a negative way. What I'm saying is that they try to nurture as a mother. They try to listen, understand, teach, guide, advise as a mother, but he's not looking for that. He wants somebody to let him off the hook, don't say anything, don't talk back, right? Take
Mm-hmm.
word for everything, put him on a pedestal, lose yourself in him. That's what it when they say somebody like your mother, a mother is unconditional. Like I can do, my mother didn't, my sister always said I was the golden child. My mother didn't punish me, didn't nothing. My mother praised me, my grandmother praised me. The women in my family praised the men, but they ate each other alive.
And that's the problem when it comes to our trauma, our triggers. And then at the same time, you want your daughter to grow up and to respect you. Mm, that's a whole
These young ladies nowadays don't have many men to pick from. The little
no.
boys just want to play video games and smoke weed. They don't get their teeth clean. They don't take baths. They don't get their hair cleaned up. They don't get no. That's bad. That's why you see these younger women going into polygamous relationships or wanting a sugar daddy at 17, 18 years old. I know that's been around for a long time, but it's more prevalent now than ever.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not even looking for love. They're looking for somebody to buy for them, put them up, buy them food, let them stay at their place, don't complain, don't have to clean up, none of that. That's all they want. They don't want to be in a role of a mother or a wife. They don't want it. And little boys don't want to be in the role of a husband or a father. They don't want it. They don't. It provides them. They don't get anything out of it. And that's why, I guess what 50% of women are being divorced, or they say black women, 80% of black women walking out of marriages. I don't know how true that is, but they put all that pressure on black women. But I will tell you this much: I caused a lot of women to not want to be in relationships with a black man or to be married one. That was my fault. So if they talking about those statistics, they need to put my face in the dictionary and say this is why black women don't like certain black men. But I'm not gonna put that on any other black man. It was me. I was never a good boyfriend. I was never a good husband. I could provide and I could protect and I could show you one hell of a weekend. But come Monday, I don't know who the hell you are.
I hope y'all hear this. Ladies, I hope y'all are hearing this. Fellas, I hope you're hearing this. Something I wanted to just mention, when you mentioned the women being a mother, I would say to women who are nurturers like myself, to ask the Lord to show you how to be present for the men you're interested in. How to show up even for your brother, how to show up for your cousin, your male cousins, how to show up for your male friends. Because when you start to show up as what you need, what they need you to be, it'll be easy for you when you are starting to be courted or pursued by the man that God has called to be your husband, so that you are a wife and not a mother figure, but you have the tendencies of being present for him, as God will give it to you. But we don't spend time enough with God to show us. And that's the problem with our character. We look for people to fix us, and that's not what we're designed to do. We're designed to connect. We're designed to be one, but we're not designed to fix each other. We're designed to help each other, to be a partner to one another. But a lot of times people, and I mentioned this earlier to my colleague about the dating pool. The dating pool is not polluted because of the pool itself. It's the people and how they come into the pool. And they're not coming into the pool selfless. They're coming into the pool selfish. What can I get out of the deal? Not so much how can I appear, or how can I be or make the dating experience enjoyable for the person that I'm interested in. And that's what we're going to be talking about, y'all, during our conference. Y'all need to come to the conference. Again, it's going to be on Saturday, March 23rd, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And you do not want to miss our segment on intentional dating. But I want you guys to think about that. How are you showing up in the dating pool? Why are you an enjoyable time? Like, how can people enjoy you? How can you make that dating experience enjoyable for the other person? I want you guys to think about that. Those who are single, who are looking to date intentionally. Did you want to add to what I just said, Leon?
Yeah. A lot of people date for right now. They have an itch, they want it to scratch. They want to, like, I wasn't dating to get a relationship. I wasn't dating to make her my girlfriend. I was dating to add up numbers.
Okay.
And
that's real.
Yeah, and that's what I was doing. It was like dating was a game to me. And so I wasn't dating with any type of intent. And any woman that I dated going back to 1983, it was all about me from the onset. I wasn't trying to get to know her mind. I wanted to see what her body was about. I didn't care about her mind and what church she goes to and what's her pastor's name and the first lady's name. I don't even talk about the Bible. One thing about me being as overt as I am, the evil comes straight out. When you start talking about God in the Bible back then, I didn't hide it. I was like, Leon, we going to church though. You want to go? Hell no, I don't want to go to MF church. I would say that just so that she wouldn't ask me ever again, because she didn't want to hear me say those words, associate those bad words with God and church. And so my ex-girlfriend was in the church. She knew the Bible well, but she could not. I was with her for 6 years, and I don't think I went to church with her once. Oh yeah. So I was so nasty to where she just stopped asking me. And then when I come home, she's reading the Bible, I would leave the house. I'm like, man. But yeah, so I didn't date with any type of intent, and I wasn't trying to get to know a woman. I was trying to get in her pants, and it wasn't about, well, what do you do? How's your parents? Your parents have been married. Traditional stuff. I didn't want to hear about it. We're gonna go drink, smoke, have sex, argue, and start over.
Yeah, and
So
that's
what's the healthy mind to do?
yeah, and those are typical toxic behaviors. And like you just said you weren't intentional. And so my events, my conferences is to help people become intentional. Those who want to. Not this is not for everybody. This conversation is not for everybody because everybody's not maturing in their relationships or don't want to. And a lot of the toxic traits that we're hearing tonight is because of what's happening in our households, what's not happening. The healthy stuff is not happening in our household. So a lot of things are repeated because of what we're not doing or not getting enough of. And so even with social media, a lot of people on social media are not even talking about this, like what we need to be doing in our communities, having the conversation and helping people who want the help. So that's where I am. I'm not here to be. I don't want to give people band-aids. And that's what a lot of people want. They want band-aids. They're not looking to actually dig into the roots and deal with their traumas.
That's why I talk the way that I talk, because I ain't cutting no corners. And
Yeah.
what I learned about myself was that I was dating the same type of women that my father liked.
Uh-oh.
Cigarette smokers, weed smokers, drinkers, hang out all night, foul mouths, thuggish. I don't want a lady. I want somebody that's like, look, let's go drink, smoke, argue, fight, and start over. I don't want a lady. I don't want class. My father had women that were classes, and I hate to put them down, but that's who they were. I saw them. I was like, like Stephanie. Stephanie came over here with a trench coat on. She had red lipstick on. She had some nice perfume, and her hair was done, and pretty shoes. But no, my father wanted Earlene over here that was missing side teeth and had a patchy wig and had a marble hanging out of her mouth. He liked those type of women. I was like, but then I started liking the same type of women.
Mm-hmm. Do
And
you
then,
think women who are classy or women who are put together, they are more of a challenge? What are your
yeah, because you got to step your game up. They're more traditional. They want a relationship. They want to hold hands. They want to watch movies at night. They don't want to go to the clubs. They don't want you coming to smell like smoke. Their parents been married for 35 years. They have good credit scores. They can buy their own car, right? Yeah, they those women that were polished was like, oh, in my mind, oh, she don't need me. I need somebody that needs me. I don't care how thugged out she is. She could be a thug smoking cigarettes. She need me. I'm happy. But those women that were well kept and polished, she don't need me. They were boring to me. But that's what my wife was, a well kept, polished woman. Very traditional. Parents were married for 35, 40, 45 years. And it's just that situation, not my wife, ex-wife, but was that situation was boring to me. I needed some hell in my life. I needed some drama. I grew up on drama. My ex-wife used to always tell me, you look for drama, you want drama. Yeah. When it's too quiet, too peaceful, I'm going crazy. I need out.
yeah. I hope y'all just heard what he said he was looking for because he grew up with that. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot again, you are um attracted to trauma based on what you grew up in. And so even though my background, I'm talking about it more now. My mom is a paranoia schizophrenic. She lives in a home now. But our home was peaceful. Even though we had a lot of stuff going on, I was in and out of shelters, in the foster care system, but we managed to have peace around us. I don't know how, but there are times that I did experience some trauma, right? But I did not allow that to get to me. And so, even though my mom was not married, we still experienced, again, the peace that we need in our life. And so, what I would tell people is that you have the power to change your environment. You have the power to speak life or death over your own house, over your own car, over your own money, over your relationships. What you have the power to create the healthy relationships that you deserve. But you have to be willing to do that work. And so, one thing I want to ask you, we're going to log off here and go to IG. What is one word of advice to men who are dealing with issues from their mom or their dad, or whoever that was raising them? What would be your one word of advice to them? Who's
Plain and simple. Call 988, the crisis hotline, and get you a social worker or a psychotherapist. That's the only way I was able to talk. I'm able to talk to you today because I had a social worker, I had a psychotherapist, I had a psychologist, and I had a psychiatrist for many years in the military. And it didn't start working until I wanted to just start getting some change. And I started getting sick. I had a heart attack, had headaches, losing teeth, all kinds of stuff started happening bad to me. But call the crisis. I'm not going to sugarcoat people like, so what's your, Leon, if you could tell, I'm not mocking you, I'm saying, if you could tell people one thing, what would you do? And they'll think like, well, you need to date with intentions. You need to, no. Call the crisis hotline, 988, and ask for a social worker or a psychotherapist or a psychiatrist and say, hey, I need some help because I don't know how to love. I don't feel my wife. I'm angry at my kids. That was me. I'm always angry with my kids. I put my work over my family. That was me. And so when I started talking to my social worker, my psychiatrist, and my psychotherapist, I unloaded a whole bunch of stuff. And that's why I'm here today, because I could have committed suicide years ago.
Stop holding on to all that pain, because fellas, you deserve to have your voice heard. You deserve to cry, get all that out to cleanse, get all that off. I feel like you should not be dating if you are not working on yourself, because what you're doing is you're just using people to camouflage what's really going on with you.
My therapist told me to stop dating.
Yeah. It's a distraction. It can be a distraction.
And she said, you're destroying women, Leon. I was like, how the hell am I doing? So yeah, I was told to stop dating.
Yeah, because again, like I said earlier, people are getting in the dating pool selfishly, and they're not selfless. So if you're getting in there, one being one-sided in that pool, chances are you got some trauma and you need to work on that. Why am I getting in this pool and polluting somebody else?
Yeah.
That is a question.
Getting in the pool and peeing in it.
Okay. And spreading it to people. Is that okay? Now I'm like a teacher. I'm in my teacher mode now. Is that okay? No, we're not empathetic. We're selfish. We want what we want, and we're not thinking about how we are passing on this foolishness to the next generation. This is why it starts with us, y'all. It starts with the millennials. I want to say I am proud of my millennials, who my influencers out there who are actually doing the work, not just talking, but we live in the lifestyle. Ain't nobody here that's a faking or talking, no talk. This is real. Healing takes time. Give yourself grace. We're still in the top of the year, y'all. Give yourself grace to understand you.
What people don't understand, Nick, is that my therapy, the last time was from 2014 to 2015, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't start really implementing what I learned in therapy until probably 5 years later, if that.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I think healing is a lifestyle.
So my medical record says therapy will be indefinite. I laugh now, but when I read it in my medical record, I was like, why didn't they tell me about this? It kind of like slid in there, but it's a stamp in bold letters.
Yeah. Indefinite. Yep, it's a part of you, and that is okay. You gotta be okay with what the cards you've been dealt with and walk through that process. The pain is necessary for our growth, y'all. I look back at the things I've gone through and I say thank you, because it's more than shaping me into becoming the woman that God has called me to be at such a time as this. So again, we're not here to sugarcoat anything. We want you guys to tap in with us during our conference. Why should people attend the virtual conference, Leon?
The people should attend the virtual conference because even though the last conference you did, we were in person, it was amazing. There was a lot of topics. There was a lot of talk. There was a lot of growth. There was a lot of development. It was set up well. There was great food. There was great entertainment. So I think people should attend the conference just to even do something different. Even if your marriage is fine and you're doing great, come meet, listen, hear some different things, see some different people, and get a different mindset.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm telling y'all because every time I do the conference, I learn something different about myself. And we've been doing this since 2018. And this year is different. This is Holy Ghost driven because the Holy Spirit was telling me that the reason why we go in circles in relationships because of unresolved trauma. And so this might be touchy for some, but there are people who are ready to be set free. And so we want you guys to tap in with us. You can find all the information on our website at www.neekspeaks.com. I am Neek Speaks on all social media platforms. You can follow me on Instagram, here on YouTube, and on Facebook. And of course, we are running a promo special right now. So if you at the checkout, you can use the promo code save 75. Again, save space 75. And of course, you guys follow Leon on Instagram and also on TikTok. He is Leon R. Walker Jr. on both platforms, correct?
Everywhere, yeah. YouTube,
Everywhere.
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Leon R. Walker. Leon R. Walker Jr.
Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, get this book. He also has a chapter in here for young people for a prevention, assessment, and the prevention for youth. You definitely want to get this, okay? Because it's a busting. I read some of it right now, and let me tell you, it is very, very intense. Get your notebook out, take notes. Okay, it is a must read. The 7 Loveless Traits. All right, you can find them on Amazon, correct?
Barnes and Noble, Google, Zooks, all that stuff. Yeah.
All of it, y'all. Okay. Anything else you want to tell the people before we go?
No, we meeting you. I'm meeting you over at Neek Speaks on Instagram. We're going live, right?
Yeah, but hold on a second though. Yep. But yep. So next week, you guys want to tap in with us. I have my business partners, Lewis and Vanessa Carter. They've been married over 25 years this year. All right. And I'm so grateful that they've been rocking with me since 2018. And they're going to talk about how to evolve in your marriage. If you're single, you want to tap in with them because they bless my soul every single time we have our meeting, our recaps and all that. They always give me insight in my single life. Okay. So I want you guys to make sure you tap in with us next week and you guys have an amazing weekend ahead. God bless y'all.
Bye.